Hello, my name is Samantha Reiner. I am the Vice President of Troop A335 at Sullivan High School in South Missouri in Franklin County, and this is my application for the Technical Scholarship at the 2021 Missouri State Thespian Conference. I am a senior at Sullivan High School in South Missouri. I have constructed and designed costumes for my theater program for almost 3.5 years, and I have been a member of the costume crew for the 2020 All-State Show. I am very dedicated to the costume process as it is a passion of mine. First, I start by going through the script and finding any characters who will be needing a costume and if there are any costume props. I then check with my director and production team to understand the time period and the theming of the show. Next is the research stage. Here, I search for costumes to be inspired by. I try to stay within the period or the theme barriers, but create pieces that have my own flair to them and not just a copy of someone else's work. After finding some inspiration pictures, I begin sketching. This is also where hair and makeup thoughts come into play as well. For example, if the character is mostly sweaty, I put down he needs to look sweaty and have armpit stains. After sketching and taking notes, I begin to pull costumes. With my school, we have such a small budget, so my director and I try our best to pull costumes out of storage. We also repurpose fabric and borrow from other schools. Next is the alterations and tailoring stage. This is where I quickly adapt and fix the costumes to fit suitably. I always make sure I have everything down in my costume plot, as well as when it's time for a dress rehearsal, I have everything from top to toe for each actor. Starting at each dress rehearsals, I make sure each actor checks in with me with their costumes, and at the end checks back then. This way, any costume fixes can occur, and I can make sure that each costume is ready to go for the next run. One of the largest improvements that I have had through the years is my costume plots. When I first started, I didn't even know what a costume plot was. My director showed me how to create one, and I spent every day trying to make sure all the costumes were down and everything was always in place. As each show progressed, I learned from different designers and managers on how they do costume plots. I love to learn from how people do different things and always find a way for myself to adapt and learn to improve my skill. There's always something new to learn. Going from a bare costume plot to a color coded with a scene breakdown plot, you can see how I improved myself to make sure that costumes are organized and put in the right place. I have constructed quite a few costumes over the past 3.5 years of my high school. My first ever costume constructed was for the play of Arsenic and Old Lace in 2018. My director wanted to give me a challenge for my first time sewing a full costume. She supplied me with a purple zebra striped spandex fabric and had me construct a full men's suit for one of the main characters, Jonathan Brewster. My director wanted a Tim Burton meets the Addams Family theme/design and have Jonathan as a Frankenstein figure character. I believe that with the silhouette, as well as the pattern in the fabric, fit the theme and the overall production very well. Another main costume I had constructed was for the 2020 Winter Show. It's a Wonderful Life, a live radio play. This show mainly had costumes pulled from our storage, but my director let me construct a mid 1940s dress for the actor playing Mary. The dress is a tan with a darker tan lines fabric. With this, the dress pattern that I pulled from our storage was too small for the actor, so I made my own by going 5 inches wider and 1 inch in length from the original pieces. Due to the vintage pattern and the vintage look at the fabric, the dress fit in well with the others. Costumes for the play that I've helped design was the spring musical in 2019, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The musical is set in the Renaissance/Middle Ages. My main character design was for the character Esmeralda. I also constructed the overskirt as well. I wanted her character to be different from the other gypsies and to show more of an independent character she is, and for her also to be able to do stage combat and the stunt work. I as well helped design for my fall comedy show in 2019 the complete works of William Shakespeare, abridged revised. I watched many versions of the show to see different ideas on how they display their costumes since there are only 3 characters who play many different roles. The main character that I focused on was playing all the female parts of the play. I wanted him to look very messy, but also give the illusion of him being an actual woman. I also helped construct and design the slops that the 3 main characters wore. Though I started out being an actor and then going into more of a tech and costumes, since we all have the same since we all mainly have a lot of small programs, I still step in for small roles in some of the plays. I always love connecting more with the actors and learning what they go through and developing skills such as stage combat, and it's always great to make memories with both the techies and the cast members. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to speak to you further about the possibilities of participating in your program.